right, welcome. You're with us here on Business Today, and we're taking a look at all the action ahead of market opening in just a few moments. Let's kick start with all that's making news in the corporate and financial space. Indications that the stock market could open in green after Friday's fall. Asian markets are up, but they're nervous as well. Bitcoin has plunged 20% in November alone. Investor favorite Nvidia down 11%. Gold back in favor, the risk-averse asset hitting nearly $4,100 at the COMEX. The market will also be watching the rupee, which hit an all-time low on Friday. Markets look at the impact of new labor laws as industry weighs the pros and cons of massive reforms. The new rules change everything from paid leave to fixing working hours and overtime payouts. Gives greater flexibility both to companies and workers. TCS hit with a $194 million penalty in the US. The IT major had been accused by Computer Sciences Corporation of misappropriating its trade secrets. The appeals court has, however, vacated an associated injunction and has sent that part of the case back to the lower court for reassessment. More bad news for investors of another Tata Group company, Tata Motors, to drive out of the Sensex constituents next month, IndiGo to replace the index veteran on 22nd of December. Reports say the move could lead of a passive fund outflow of more than 2,200 crores from Tata Motors, while IndiGo may draw inflows of roughly 3,150 crore rupees. One of Britain's richest Indians, Lakshmi Mittal, is leaving UK for Dubai. The steel tycoon who founded and chairs the €300 billion ArcelorMittal is quitting the UK ahead of a new budget which is expected to heavily tax the super rich to plug the hole in the country's finances. All right, those are the headlines this morning. Let's take a look at the setup as we head into trade. Just about 7-8 minutes to go. And at this point of time, we are seeing a little bit of a bump up on global markets, spiked by some hopes of room for the Fed to cut rates. S&P, Nasdaq, Dow are all in the green on Friday. It's also a holiday week there in the US, so truncated for them. Nikkei is shut today, but the Hang Seng was looking good and Kospi following suit overnight on tech as well. We did see Oracle and Microsoft continue to see some amount of selling, but Alphabet up 3%, Apple and Meta also looking decent. So a little bit of a mixed bag overnight so far. Let's go across to my colleague Shailendra Bhatnagar, who's joining us this morning. Shail, when it comes to the index, the Nifty, the Bank Nifty, what are we in for this Monday morning?
A very good morning to you, Abha. We start the week on a pretty modest note. You should see an uptick in the market, but Wall Street in a bit of a pain last week. The Nifty, of course, added about 178 points to its total and closed nearly at its record high. A good gift Nifty setup points to a 54% point uptick. What is looking good is Nifty IT, the tourism sector, the infrastructure space. Banking, of course, is really strong, a bit of a profit booking in capital markets as well as metal space. So we look at that downturn to buy that back. But strength overall, I'm looking at 26,178. This is the highest closing ever in September 2024. We should sort of this week look forward to overcoming at record high last week, and tomorrow is the monthly expiry. So a bit of sideways to consolidating trend today on the index, but strength across the board in large caps. Abha.
All right. Shail, when we were in the festive period and during Diwali time, we were expecting those new highs. And as you said, we hit those new highs. Does that mean we've kind of peaked out, at least for the balance of the calendar year? I know we're entering a new phase of goals and targets when we look at annualized returns next year. But in the next month or so, do we anticipate remaining sideways? Even from the Fed, markets are hoping, but the Fed has clearly indicated that it's largely going to stick to expected lines.
Abha, I think that's a very wonderful question and a very interesting thought as well. Remember, if the Fed does not decrease rates in December, and this is what it alluded to last week, we'll have a sell-off. The Nasdaq has already corrected 8%. You talked about the Bitcoin fall. So risk of trade might come in, but remember, we have underperformed all of 2025. So money will come our side, and you also pointed out a record low for the rupee. If the trade deal happens, the FIs will come back. They'll buy the market at a record low as far as the rupee is concerned. That's a very, very big positive for us. And I hope that the Fed refuses to cut rates. That sell-off in the AI space will see money coming into India. Abha.
Okay, I don't think the AI sell-off is happening, Shail. We're not seeing any signs of it. but yes, for all the other factors that you mentioned, and maybe even a sell-off with regards to the AI bubble, all factors really poised for India to benefit right now. Let's take a look at domestic markets as well, and some of the big changes that we're tracking this morning. Shail, of course, we're looking at Tata Motors exiting the Sensex and IndiGo joining it. Lots of money moving as well, organically or passively on the back of that. Let's discuss that for a moment. We all know the challenges the Tata Motors PV segment is having, and it's a natural kind of move out of the Sensex. But from an investor point of view, what do you feel this shift indicates?
Abha, I'd just like to be a contrarian here.
Okay.
See, IndiGo, everybody knows, is a very popular trade. You've seen the stock appreciate from 1500 all the way up to about 5800. So that's a very well-known trade in the market. I'm actually looking at Tata Motors with a eyes full of hope and eyes full of expectations. It's seen its worst. The stock split has happened, and a sensible investor will go for margin of safety rather than a popular trade. So if you are a long-term player, you will look at Tata Motors. I would believe that IndiGo is a popular trade and is extremely, in terms of valuations, a bit overstretched. But this is my view.
All right. Well, the valuation question is clearly the one that applies across the market right now. And despite the fact that we've underperformed overall on the index this year, valuations continue to be a big talking point and across several of those categories. Let's pull out some of the other stocks in news as well as what brokerages are saying this morning. Jefferies has got a buy call coming in on Shyam Metallics with a target price of 1,050. So from the broader markets on growth outlook and among the stainless steel producers. Also, Jefferies saying that on earnings, H1 FY26 earnings have been hit by weak demand and weather disruptions, but they will improve in H2 as these ease, and they do see a 10% year-on-year on earnings. So that's Jefferies coming in for you this morning. Meanwhile, Morgan Stanley saying on the labor code, they had a few comments and I'll run through those, and they're also talking about quick commerce, saying that labor codes may increase gig worker costs, weigh on near-term sentiment, and 4 labor codes define gig work and require 1 to 2% aggregator contributions. So platform firms may face an added cost of about 1.5 to 2.5 per order in food delivery and in quick commerce. So that's their view coming in. I'm not sure how much of an impact this is going to have, but we'll discuss it further with some of our experts going forward. That's Jeffrey's view coming in on the labor code and how it will impact some of those quick commerce companies. Counting down to opening now, just under a minute to go. A few other stocks in news. We've got Adani Enterprises raising about 280 million from the sale of AWL Agri, a stake in that. Ambuja Cements, Rakesh Tiwari stepping down as CFO. Rohit Soni has been appointed in his place. So that's Ambuja Cements for you. Axis Bank is planning to raise 5,000 crores via bonds. Axis very much in the news this morning. And on fundraising, IFL Finance also looking to raise funds via bonds on the 26th. So these are some of the stocks in focus. Marginal uptick coming in on the index, 0.2% there right now as you see. And let's pull up some of the other gainers and losers for you as well. Nifty Bank also steady, 0.2% as well. So at least not a red downtick this morning. It's still sideways, but sideways on the positive. IT is seeing a nice big bump up. Let's pull up some of those movers. Infy is up over 1% this morning. Tech Mahindra following suit as well. Hindalco is looking steady right now. So perhaps following the sentiment overnight or overall just looking good right now. Bajaj Finserv, Tata Consumer, some of the other gainers. On the downside, we've got Eternal, BEL cooling off. M&M is also down just a notch right now. And Bharti Airtel pretty much flat, as is an Asian Paint. Some of these names have, of course, seen recent gains, but just about flat this morning. So that's the screen for you in terms of gainers and losers, but let's try and see where else some of that strength is coming in from. Let's pull up a Tata Motors and IndiGo just to see how they're doing this morning. Let's also take a look at some of those oil and gas majors. Reliance had a really good week last week, so let's take a look at what's happening there. We've got Tata Motors down, CV down about 0.7%. We'll pull up the PV one also, and IndiGo as well. Tata Motors PV also down about 0.8%. And let's pull up IndiGo for you and take a look this morning at how it stands on the news that it's going to be included into the Sensex. There you go, up over 1% right now. Let's have a quick look at Reliance as well. And Shail, what else are you spotting in the markets this opening?
Abha, I would just look at the auto players. The reason why I mentioned this is that we are now closer to the month end, and you will see a lot of activity which will see strength coming in Eicher Motors, Hero Motors, Mahindra and Mahindra, in particular Maruti as well. So that's the space that I'm looking at in terms of gains. Look at Hindustan Aeronautics. The unfortunate crash of Tejas aircraft on Friday afternoon is hitting sentiment on the stock, 3.5% lower, 4441. In terms of strength, I am looking at NBCC 2.3% higher at 115. Strength coming in Ace Construction 991. 3.62%. Overall, the market is in the green. A 400-point uptick on the Nifty IT index. The Bank Nifty and the Nifty are modestly up. Bulls on the back foot, 1,000 shares in the green, 1,300 in the red, and the rally is led by the IT and the Financial Services Index, ABA.
All right. Just want to talk about HAL for a moment. Remember now that crash was at the Dubai Airshow. Already down about 3% on Friday, another 3% this morning. This kind of an accident on a global stage pulling a lot of attention on the reliability, export readiness, operational safety when it comes to some of the defense players. The government has clarified, of course, on this entire event, but still a lot of uncertainty and raised expectations around what's really happening with regards to some of the efficiency and reliability of these products. Given the kind of movement we've seen on defense and the strong order books today, this morning, the India Defense Index only down about 1.5%. And of course, it's a short-term reputational risk that we're looking at here, but it's clearly playing out for you this Monday morning. And I think there was a previous crash back in 2024 as well that HAL was involved in, but for now anyway, we'll wait and see if there are any further details or clarifications with regards to this that emerge from the company. All right, Natco Pharma in the news because, and that's the reason it saw an uptick, Shail, was because the US FDA inspection at the Manali API plant has concluded. They do have a few observations, but Natco this morning, NBCC this morning is up. They've won a work order worth 450.9 million. So NBCC is the one that's moving up on the back of that order buzz. So the NBCC in the news there. But you're absolutely right. It's a lot of the financials that continue to capture imagination, and a lot of them in the news as well. A whole lot of fundraising that we're looking forward to this week, or announcements this week, whether it's Axis Bank, IFL Finance, all of them looking in for bonds issues. Meanwhile, of course, Kotak Mahindra Bank, they've approved that split of every share into 5. So lots of news when it comes to the banking and financial space.
For a moment, focus on the Nifty IT index. What you see is a very strong bounce coming in from 200-day moving average, and a lot of strength coming into counters like Infosys. It's the top traded play on the market today, 2.1% higher at 1577. TCS is 0.5% higher at 3162, and all this is also helping the Nifty for a very simple reason, because Infosys is actually a very heavyweight on the market. Just a quick look at the pullers and draggers. Infosys contributing 25 points to Nifty. HCL Tech contributing 5 points. Tech Mahindra 2.8 points. So that's the strength that is coming in. And of course, as you mentioned, Hindustan Aeronautics, now the top traded counter, 3% lower, 213 traded. And this is a multi-week low on HAL. But the only silver lining I see is that it's up from an intraday low. So IT on the long side, autos on the long side, PSUs on the long side, just a day ahead of the monthly expiry. Abha.
Absolutely. I'm just looking at, what are the potential triggers there for the IT pack? I mean, yes, we saw recovery on Wall Street overnight. So that's, of course, clearly the one major thing that I can see driving those counters. Other than that, we're tracking changes on the currency, but no other major news triggers specifically on any individual stock. But IT is up about 1.5% right now, looking incredibly strong in today's trade. So that's on the IT pack. HAL we've talked about because that's the other clear highlight in the market right now. When it comes to some of the defense players though, Shail, and let's go a little deeper there because the valuation question applies very much to that sector as well. If one did have to take a little bit of money off the table, where would one do that within this pack? Because they've just been going from strength to strength.
Abha, that's a difficult one in complete honesty because nothing much has happened on the defense space over the last many months. It's in a sideways to down diagonal fall or profit booking because of excessive valuations on the long side. I would imagine let it settle down on its own. The news is extremely tragic. My understanding is that people will use this very sad opportunity to get back into Hindustan Aeronautics. Much will depend on how the close will figure out today. But I would just stay away from booking profit in BEL in particular. That's in strength. But technically it looks sideways as far as the entire defense pack is concerned. I'll bring your attention to HG Infra. Very strong move coming in, 916 for you. The counter is trading about 0.7% higher. Fresh order flow of 1400 crore rupees. Abha.
Okay, we've got a few other stocks also moving. I think there's Shelly Engineering. Let's pull that one. So we've got HG Infra, we've got Shelly Engineering also. I think that's on a brokerage report. That's moving higher as well right now. We've got Team Lease up almost 10%. We've got the new labor code also being discussed, and a lot of your quick commerce companies are moving on that. Team Lease is also up about 10%, which let's take a deeper look at in just a moment. But Eternal is down. We've got Grow, I think, back in action. We'll pull up some of the other quick commerce companies to just see if there's any impact of the labor code news coming in on that. All right, let's talk about Team Lease. Let's talk about Team Lease, Shell, because a 10% move is not one that you see every day on a Team Lease. We have seen, of course, a decent set of numbers, but that was also a couple of weeks ago.
Correct. But look at this in context that Team Lease has corrected very sharply over the last 6 months or so. The most recent high was 3,000 rupees. All-time high for Team Lease is somewhere like 5,555. And from that level, you see a bounce that is coming in. You mentioned earnings in particular. That's pretty good. And of course, this is value buying across the board. And more importantly, IT index is in top shape. So a couple of very strong tailwinds coming into Team Lease. And at the moment, 9% higher, 151. Very strong volume. Abha, that was a very good pick.
I've got to thank my producer Twinkle for that, actually, and spotting the action on this one. We've got the PSU bank index also trending higher right now, up about 0.5%, looking good. Financial is going to come back to it. We've got the PSUs on the move on the back of reform buzz. We've got the private ones on the news on the back of lots of fundraising, etc. So banking continues to be a prime area of focus, Shell.
Yes, Abha. So a lot of strength across the board in PSU pack. The top four that we always look at: Canara Bank, Bank of Baroda, Indian Bank, and of course the big one, the big daddy, State Bank of India plus PNB. All 5 of them in top shape. This is again a bit of buying. Across the board in PSUs, you see very positive breath coming in. Look at HUDCO, look at Shipping Corporation of India, IDBI. All these low ticket, high beta items are doing extremely well on the first day of the week. Abha.
Absolutely, and looking really good there. Shah Metallics we talked about, of course. Just looking at some of the other active names right now. TVS Holdings, JSW Holdings, Tata Alexis up 3%. Some of these names on the upside, just from the broader markets, pulling up some of the volume buzzers for you, just to take a look at what's happening there across and where else we're seeing some amount of buying action come in outside of the heavyweights. On the downside as well, let's take a look at where we're seeing some amount of a cool off. We've talked about data pattern, for instance, delivery, Lemon Tree is cooling off today, DCM Shriram, Usha Martin, so Tejas Networks, we spoke about that. So these are a couple of the stocks on the downside, and as Shell mentioned, a Cochin Shipyard, for instance. Pharma Lupin is down about 1% this morning, but that's the only one right now. So that's where some of the cool off is happening at this point of time. Let's pull up Hero Motor for you, talking about auto and all the action shifting back into auto. Hero, Eicher, both of them at 52-week highs. Let's pull them up for you. And remember, we're heading in for sales figures next week. So it clearly looks like actions continuing when it comes to some of the two-wheeler names. Both Hero and Eicher continue to look good, trending at 52-week highs right now. We've also got the SME IPO this week, SSMD Agro, with the price band of 114 to 121 rupees. It'll open on the 25th, that's tomorrow. And Mother Nutri with a price band of 111 to 117 will open on 26th. KK Silk with the price band of 36 to 38 rupees will open on the 26th as well. And Purple Wave with the price band of 120 to 126 rupees will open on 28th November. Meanwhile, Exato with a price band of 133 to 140 rupees will open on the 28th of November. All right, before we go, let's quickly touch upon the market once again and see where we're at just 15 minutes into opening this morning. I would say it's all about IT, focusing there. Strong 1.5% move on the IT index. Action across. Banks are, of course, also seeing positive momentum, but it's really IT where we're seeing a lot of momentum, and then, of course, a few stocks from the broader markets. But keep an eye on that. Clear Trigger, almost 2% higher now on the IT index. We'll continue to track that for you and bring you all the action and analysis at 3 o'clock on market closing. Thanks for joining us.